All right, I think I'm going to like this way of starting better. I'll go ahead and get the game opened up and then just pause it. And then when I've got everything set up on my laptop, I can just hit the X button. There we go. Whoa. I wonder how long it's going to rain. What time is it? It's only 12 o'clock. I wonder how long it's going to rain. That is not something I was anticipating, although it did say it was going to be raining. See, even in the months to come, rain, 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 rain. But it doesn't show that it's supposed to be raining right now. Not until like later in the evening. So, that's not good. Because I'm not going to be able to do any contracts. That's the problem now. I don't know that it'll let me mow while it's raining. It probably will not, and I don't want to risk it. What is this? And it's not going to let me harvest either. That's why I think it won't let me mow. And I don't really want to do these that we have to pay for. Let me see here. It will not let us harvest if it's raining. I don't think it's going to let us mow if it's raining. It might let us do spraying, but I don't really want to do those. I don't think it's going to do any good to speed up the clock, but let's find out. Let's try it. Wow, it did. It actually did. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you? All right, let's see what we got now. Ooh, what is this? Stone picking? $9,000. Yes. I just bought a stone picker. Let's see what else we have. We got quite a few contracts available now that it quit raining. Anything we really want, though. There is a cotton, but that's kind of small. We could do a wheat. Oh, you're doing some painting in your coloring book. Okay. Guess what I did today? I made a very costly mistake. And we can do a mowing contract, but they're sowing also, but I don't know if I want to do that, but that's pretty good money. But stone picking, let's do this stone picking. That's what we're going to do first. I went to Walmart with Casey. Oh, there comes Lincoln. And I locked myself out of my apartment, and it cost me $180 for a locksmith to come get me in my door. I have such horrible Wi-Fi service that a lot of times when Casey sends me a message to let me know that she's on her way to come pick me up, it doesn't even come through. And that's what happened today, so I was not expecting her. And she showed up knocking on my door. I mean, I knew she was going to be coming at some point. I just didn't know when. And her messages telling me when did not come through, so she caught me off guard, and they were stopped out in the middle of the road, and I just was trying to hurry, and I totally forgot my keys. And I have the kind of door that once you close it, it's locked. Of course, I have it set up that way, but still. So I'm going to have to figure out something different as far as my keys are concerned, because I cannot be doing that. I overshot my turn right there. I forgot what I was doing. We'll stop by the office here and accept this contract. Okay, so we'll accept it. Well, the manager would have access to a master key, but she has not been here all week because there was a passing in her family, so she's been gone. And we could not get a hold of the maintenance guy either, so it didn't work out. I'm going to buy Casey a lock picking kit so she can learn how to use it. She can make her some money. Because they used a lock picking kit. You can buy them on Amazon. Yeah, it's a bummer. I told the locksmith guy, I just went through this situation with Uber, got my money all situated and everything, and now I'm having to give it to him. Now, let me see here. We do not need this big weight. That big weight is for when I have the bucket with the gravel. So we're going to switch out. I want to switch out and use this weight over here. Alright, there we go. Hey Archie, how are you? Alright, now let me look at the map. Okay, we're all the way over here. Yeah, thanks, Archie. I do have some good news, though, that I just remembered. I ordered my tablet and a case for the tablet today, or technically yesterday. And I hope what I bought will turn out to be a decent tablet. Let's see, which side of the tracks am I supposed to go on? Let me see what the map says. Okay, yeah, I gotta come all the way down here. Well, I know you get what you pay for. And, I mean, I didn't buy like the top of the line Apple or anything like that. But hopefully it'll turn out to be decent. At least do what I want it to. I wish I could afford like you know, $1,000 tablets and laptops and stuff like that, but I have to go the less expensive route. All right, here we go. Yeah, my Wi-Fi dropped when I was doing my coloring. Now, when you say I was using your book, my book, what do you mean by that, Archie? What do you mean by my book? Oh, okay, Archie. Sorry. Hey, Joe. How's your day been? Well, Joe, I wish it had been better, but I'm glad you're still kicking. I could say about the same thing for my day. Rooms of Wonder. Well, Joe, I made the very costly mistake of locking myself out of my apartment today, and that cost me $180 to get back in. No, it was after hours. This was like about 8:30 at night. Yep, Joe, it sure did. Those guys got done, and I don't know if he is the owner or just a supervisor or what. The older guy, he seemed nice. He was talking to me. A couple of younger guys actually picked my lock, but the older guy, he did the paperwork and stuff like that. But he was pretty nice. But he said, he's like, well, nice to meet you. I said, I hope I never see you again. I just got to buy me the right tools. I can do what those guys did. Of course, now I told him that jokingly, but still, I sure don't want to see him again under the circumstances. Now it does really suck because I just got all my money straightened out with all the Uber stuff. I just got all that taken care of, and then I had to turn around and give it to the locksmith. I'm glad I bought this this rock picker when I did. Now hopefully I'm not gonna stop this guy and restart him and see if he messes up. I kinda would like to experiment. Is this tool gonna mess up on every field if you stop it? It did on the last one. And I don't really want to risk it. I think I'm just going to let it run. I got my new tractor out here too. Did you guys notice? Now, one thing I noticed on the last field that we did with the rock picking, the stone picking, which was in the last live stream, that when it completed the contract, it did not let me finish picking up the rocks, the stones. And I thought in previous contracts that we did with the stone picking that it did actually let me pick up all the stone. But in the last live stream, it did not let me do that. I don't know if that was because the thing was messed up. It might have been because, as we can see, the thing did not work like it was supposed to. But I think because this is considered harvesting, but we don't have to sell it. That's the thing about this contract. That is one thing I do like about the stone picking. You don't have to sell it. We get to keep it. So I have a use for it. Maybe not for money. We probably won't make much money off these stones. But cosmetically, I do have a use for it. Right now, I'm just piling it all up on my own farm, but that's not where most of it's going to stay. That may not be where any of it stays. Okay, Joe, God bless you. I hope you can sleep well, and I hope you have a great weekend. Now this is a step right here I've never really done on my own fields. Yes, I bought this tractor in the last live stream, yes. And the rock picker too, the stone picker. I bought it in the last live stream. So both of those right there, the whole setup. And I bought that tractor. Now that tractor is set up, let me show you. I have that tractor set up for this right here, actually. That's what I bought it for. So that I can have this. Because I have a purpose. So anyway, that's what I bought that for. But eventually we'll be using an excavator. And then I can buy forks or whatever I need. I'm going to be using this tractor right here for a lot of that kind of work. For bales and things like that. So I also bought a weight. I bought a separate weight for when I used the bucket. I had to buy a much heavier weight than what I have on there now. And it even is isn't quite heavy enough. I probably should put wheel weights. I might should look about putting some wheel weights on this tractor, actually. Let's see, while he's working, let me look at where this tractor was. Which tractor was it? I believe it was this one, because I could not put the front end loader on the big one. But let me look at wheel setup. Yeah, see, I can't get the twin wheels with weights. And that's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to stick with that. Now, see, this guy is working this field just fine. But would he work it if I fire the helper and then hire a new one? Would it know where to start? I do not want to take that risk. But now I just did a system update too this evening. Well, right before I started my live stream, really. It was a good thing I got on when I did, because there was a PS5 system update, PlayStation. Well, it's supposed to know, but in the last live stream, I never could get the helper to go back and actually start working the field. It would drive around in circles, just going back over what it had already done, and I ended up having to do the last half of it myself, or almost half of it. So I don't want to risk it, because I don't want to have to do this myself. I want the helper to do it for me. But it could have just been that field. I don't know. It could have been something related to the update even. Because I don't think I'd had any issues well, I know I had not had any issues with the stone picker. So, oh, you've had that kind of thing happen too? Well, now I did have that happen with a potato harvester on Riverbend Springs. It drove around in circles for 2 hours, but it did eventually start working. But yeah, that was quite the experience. But the rock picker, the stone picker, I could not get it to go back. It just kept insisting that it was going to redo what it had already done. So at least this guy is working. Now I am hoping that we get to actually harvest the entire field. We might not get to, maybe I'm wrong. I know in the last live stream on the last field that we just did, because I bought this in the middle of that contract. For any of you guys that saw that, I bought this stone picker in the middle of the last contract. And it just never would go back and work. And when stuff like that happens, you don't know, is it that piece of equipment? It shouldn't be, because I had used that during contracts before, I think. Or was it something with the field? Was it a PlayStation thing? You just never know what is actually causing the problem. It could just be me being tired and hitting the wrong button, which I do a lot. And speaking of hitting the wrong button, you know, it's funny, because when I started college back in the 90s, I had to take a computer course, and I was the only student in the class. Of course, I was older then, but I was the only student in the class who had never used a computer before. So the instructor made me sit right beside her desk. And she told me, the first thing she told me, don't worry about it, you can't break it. The very first button I pushed on that computer, the computer froze, and she had to get the tech people to come fix it. And I was like, yeah, I can't tear it up, huh? But I did turn out to be her favorite student. Oh, it was so funny. But I did turn out to be her favorite student, because I could get 100. I could score 100s on exams. I was the only one in the class, actually in all my classes. All my teachers, true story, all of my instructors in college apologized to me for misjudging me, because I had real long hair, and they just thought I was a party person. Yeah, I was just a hippie. That would be the word I would use too, yeah. But I was also a straight A student. I almost used the term hippie in the name of my channel here, but this guy must be going a little bit downhill because his top working speed is supposed to be 15 miles an hour, but he has been hitting 16 a little bit, so it must be running just slightly downhill. It doesn't look like that though. It looks like it's actually running uphill. It looked like it was running down towards the center just a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Well, it won't take this guy too much longer, especially at 15 miles an hour. Was there another one of these? I don't think so. But we could, okay, here we go. We got a nice plowing contract now. And then we still have that mowing we can do. Nice. All right. So we can do, where is this plowing? Okay, that's up there in field number 2. All right. And then we have mowing, which is right up there also. So we might do those 2 contracts before we sleep. I think we should have time. It's only 1:30 in the afternoon in game. Now let me look at something. Let's see, I'm looking for something in particular. I am thinking about let me see. I am thinking about trying to use one of these signs. I may not be able to get it where I want it. It may not work because I would like to get it right back in there, but it's not going to let me. Let's see if there's someplace else we could put it maybe. Now we'll go take a look at that. I put that on there for a reason. We're going to go look at that here in a minute. I may not leave it on the roof. I'll just put it up there for now. Actually, let's do something right quick. I just want to go look at it from the road level. Ooh, close. Well, I kind of wish that there was like this was gravel out here too, so we could drive across here. I might leave that up there like that. I kind of don't mind that being up there like that. Now, the reason I want to put one of these signs over here is because we own this automotive repair place, but we can't actually use it to make money. But since it's on our property, we are certainly going to simulate that it's being used under contract. So now it's subsidized. So anybody who has a farm can now bring their equipment over here. Even if you don't have cash, you can come over here, you can get your vehicle fixed, and there's a subsidy fund, and you're going to pay back the subsidy fund. So that justifies it, so that's fine. So now our property is making money for us under contract. because that's the whole point of the whole map is contract. So I'm just trying to make everything fall into that, like, I don't know what you would call it, but necessarily, but that, like, type of gameplay, all contracts. Even though it's not, eventually we won't really be doing. Almost overran my turn. I did overrun it. Hopefully that car will keep going and not brake check me. A lot of times they pull right in front of me and then brake check me. All right, almost perfect timing. Yeah, I can't remember how many times they've caused me to crash because they'll pass me in a no passing zone, slam on the brakes, brake check me, run stop signs. I keep telling myself I'm going to turn the traffic off and then I don't turn it. Okay, now look here, that answered my question. It will not let me finish the contract. Not like with a regular harvesting contract, but that's okay. I have told myself over and over again that I'm going to turn traffic off. And then I don't do it. I should do it. Well, I thought I had been up until yesterday, or not yesterday, but my last live stream, and it did not let me finish. So I don't know why that is. I want to go check something out, guys. I want to go this way. I want to see where this goes, because I am not familiar with this area. Where does this go? Oh, this is down here at the stables. Okay. I was looking for what might be an easier way to get down onto this corner of the map, and I think it would be to come down this way. Okay, now we have a plowing contract we can do. Well, we did get to see the train cross the road. Okay, Archie. See if I can get it to empty when it's tipped up on its side. Well, it would not unload all the way, would it? Why not? Alright, so we're just going to use our cell phone, well, our office phone. We'll pretend there's a phone in here. I wish there was a phone sitting on this table. I don't know why we don't have a phone. I guess everybody's supposed to have cell phones these days. So, almost forgot what I was going to do. We're going to pretend like we call in this next contract. We're not going to collect this one yet. We've got to go by the office to collect our money, but I can accept the contract. So we're going to go down here. We're going to accept. Okay, Dee Dee, God bless you. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me for a while. Oh, look here. Oh, my goodness. We have a $16,000 harvesting contract. God bless you, Dee Dee. So now we've got to do this contract. We had a plowing contract we were going to do. But I want to do this big. That's a $6,000 one, but I want this $16,000. Okay, so we're going to do this harvesting. We will accept. We have all our own equipment. What are we harvesting? Sorghum, and it's going to the grain mill. Okay. So we're going to accept square. Okay. And thankfully, where we're going is close by. Now, I don't think we've done any work in the field that we're going to. I can't recall if we've actually done a contract in that field or not. We have the one above it out here on the street edge, but I don't know that we've ever done the one on the railroad track side, the railroad side. I don't remember doing that one. I really do wish they'd get that hydrant out of the middle of that field so I could buy both of these and connect them. Oh, welcome back, Archie. Well, unfortunately, our stone picker works at 15 miles an hour. You're expecting frost? Wow. Well, we're going to be chilly here again tonight, but not down that. We're not going to be getting no frost, thankfully. Double check where this contract is going. It's going right next door. Okay. That's not what I was anticipating. Right here. I agree. I certainly agree, Archie. I had not looked around in this place. Can't even get in there, can we? That's too bad. I wonder why it goes uphill right here when there is no hill. I can see there's no hill. I can look at it. Well, it's not going to let me jump. I was hoping it might let me balance on that fence, on that wall. I used to do that for a living. It should let me do it in the game. Well, now that's what I was thinking, Archie, but I did not find one. I've got to figure out where the grain mill is, which it's supposed to be right over here. I've got to jump out right over here and figure out exactly where I'm supposed to take this to, because it goes to these grain elevators right here in front of us. See, there's the grain hut, but I don't know where the grain goes, so I'm going to go find it. Nice that it's right next door. Oh, here we go. Right here. Now, can we... Oh, yeah, we can just drive right back out this way. Where does this take us? This takes us back out to the main road. Yeah, right back out to the main road. All right. Nice. Because really I can just drive my harvester. I could just drive the harvester through this gate. I can probably get through this gate in the harvester, I hope. We take the header off. We should be able to drive through here, empty, turn around, come back. Nice. Whew, there's the train. And we've been streaming for just over an hour now, guys. I don't know if it shows you guys that information or not. Now, Archie, okay, it does, okay. Do you play with your game clock at real time or half speed? How do you play? Seven watching, 4 likes. Thank you, guys. That's awesome. Now on my end, it will not show me how many likes. It will show me how many people are watching, but not how many likes. Eugene, how are you? It's good to see you. Whoops. I got distracted and I let you guys get all hung up in the tree over here. I do my best to keep you guys out of the trees and stuff when we're riding along. Every once in a while, I may get distracted looking at chat or whatever. So Archie, when you play this game, how do you set your clock speed? Okay. I got you. I see. Okay, that's what I do also. Now, I used to play with it on 0.5, but once I started like playing on well, really, I think once I started playing on the PS5 version, I started playing real time. And then, well, you've probably seen, I do speed the clock up. And if I need to, I will expand the number of days per month, just so I can keep the crops from changing. Now we might make some decent money. Let me eyeball this field. Okay, I'm going to guess that we might make about $3,000 off this field in the harvest itself. Not the contract, but the harvest. I'm thinking we're going to make about 3,000. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more than that even, but I'm guessing 3,000. Anybody else want to guess? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I do not play with seasons turned on. I want to be able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. So I'm glad the game allows that. I'm glad the game allows us to make it easier. I think this game would be very hard to play if you like set the economy to hard and then you did a start from scratch. I think it would be almost impossible. You'd have to have some kind of cash. You'd have to have some money. I started with no money, with nothing. But I would not have been able to do that if I had stuff turned on, because if you started with no money, you can't get the equipment. I had to do contracts to even buy any of the equipment. So it would take a lot longer if I had everything turned on. It would be kind of fun to play that way though. I wouldn't mind doing it like I started on this one. Start from scratch, no money, no equipment. Yeah, that's kind of like, that's the only way you can make money when you first get started is contracts. But this is the first time I've ever did a start from scratch with zero money, no equipment, nothing. So everything I've built now is all built off of contracts. So we're just going to keep with that same kind of theme, the contract theme. I don't know if you guys saw, I just put that subsidy sign down around where our automotive shop is, because that's our automotive shop. I would like to start again with zero money, zero equipment. But if I was to do it again, I would want to start using all the hand equipment, not power equipment. I would want to start out with look here. Let's look at harvesters, because we'd have to have a harvester. So here's a harvester, but here's a hand harvester. So I would like to start out, well, those are for vegetables. Do we have one for, yeah, see right here, corn, sunflowers. So this one, with this right here, we can harvest all our crops. So I would like to start another map, but I want to do one like that doesn't have anything on it. And do everything by hand. See, there's that, and then a sprayer. It has a hand sprayer. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have a hand sprayer. Does it have a hand fertilizer spreader? That's something I need to look at. Fertilizer spreader. Yeah, see, we have this one, which is a manual. So we can use that. So I would like to do one using all hand tools to start with. I think that would be kind of fun. But not on this type of map. I don't want to do it on a map that has fields on it already. So that means calm lands or something like that. And I'm not happy with the updated calm lands. I don't like the new calm lands map as much as I like the old one. Well, you know what I've been wondering? I don't know that I would even be able, but that my hands would be able to handle that. And I'm pretty sure if you have the hand tools, you can't hire a helper to use the hand tools. Unfortunately. But I would like to do that. That would be fun. It would be fun knowing that you had built whatever you get, however far you take it. But to know that you started with just hand tools, that would be pretty cool. No money. And then, what if we could only buy equipment that was in here? We could only buy discounted equipment. I need to start keeping an eye on this right here and see what all kinds of stuff shows up in here. Because that might be something interesting too. If we put that kind of restriction, we're not doing that yet, but just something I'm looking at. But this map is going to be cool too. If I can make everything work the way I'm wanting to, this map will be really cool. I don't think anybody else is doing what I want to do on here. Yeah, that's right, Archie. See, that's one of the things that really drew me to this game. I first started watching Daggerwind, and I realized because the very first videos I saw of this game was Daggerwind, and he just started a vintage survival map on No Man's Land, and that was in FS19. But that's really what made me interested in playing this game, because I saw that there were many different ways that you could challenge yourself and set it up, but you could also hire the AI worker to actually do some of it for me, so that I could put the controller down, because doing this stuff myself makes my hands hurt. I don't ever play games. This is the only game I really play. I have played a couple other games on this channel, tried them out and stuff like that, but this is really the only game I play. I only play PlayStation when I'm live streaming. I never play it at home, just sitting around. I never play because the controller makes my hands hurt. But with this game, I can play it like as though I'm playing it myself, one thing at a time, like I am, because this is how I like to do it. But I can put the controller down so my hands don't hurt. So some of this stuff that I want to do actually is making it more difficult on me because I have to do it manually. So I always have to weigh that. How much am I going to have to do manually with the controller in my hand? So that would make doing like a start from scratch using only hand equipment, that would make it difficult because I would have to do all of it myself until I could upgrade. But it would still be fun. It would be cool. Now, you know what would be really nice is if Giants would figure out a way that we could bring our maps from, for example, FS25 into the next version, whether that's FS27 or FS28, whatever it turns out to be. It would be cool if they could figure out how we can bring our maps that we've spent all this time building Hey, JR, how are you? It's good to see you. Well, I understand they want us to use like their new maps and stuff like that that come out with the game, but for example, ElmCreek. Well, ElmCreek was in FS22, I believe in FS19 also, FS22, and now FS25. So it would be nice with those kind of maps that are going to be brought over if we were able to bring our own map. That would be really cool. Because eventually, what are they going to do? They're not going to be able to improve graphics. They're going to have to improve like menus and things that you can actually do. Because I would like to see a lot more in like they have several farms on this map, for example. So I would like for I'd like for there to be like a menu item. Like a menu item up here. Where I could look at each farm and see what each farm is doing. And I would like to be able to, like, if I buy a field, to assign that field to a particular farm. So if the map starts out with, like, say 7 farms on it, then you'd have a list with farm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and as you activated those farms, then you could assign your vehicle to a particular farm. Colbs, thank you very much. How are you? But anyway, I'd like to be able to see that. I'd like to be able to see net worth. I don't see any net worth. I'd like to be able to see how much money am I worth as far as equipment and all that kind of stuff. And we don't have that kind of stuff yet. So I'm hoping that, what do they call that? What is it? Immersible? This game is pretty immersive as it is. You can do that stuff. Well, yeah, you can do that in real multiplayer because you have several different accounts that are attached together. But I would like to be, because I would like to be able to do that on here, because then you really could do what I'm hoping to accomplish here. Well, I'm going to do it, but it would look a lot better if I could make it, if I could assign like this field, for example. I could assign this field to whatever farm I wanted it to be assigned to, so that way when I sold the harvest, that farm would get the money. See, right now I get all the money. I can't break it down differently. So I'm working on figuring out ways how I justify getting the money if I harvest a crop that I've planted for one of you guys. Because you should get the money, not me. So I have to figure out, how do I make it work so that I get the money? Well, I'm under contract to do the harvesting and delivering of your product. But I have to figure it out as I go along, make it all work, so it all makes sense. But it's going to be really cool, because since it's going to be involving so many different people, because I like to do that kind of stuff. But you guys got to help me remember where your farms are, because I may forget, especially if it's a house that's not an actual farmhouse. If it's just one of the houses, because I'm putting your farm someplace different. If I separate you, wow. Well, at least I remember where your house is now, Archie. Well, where your farm is. Now, when I played on this map in FS25, I always had canola in this field. I had sunflowers in that field up there and canola in this field. 440 subs. That's so awesome. Thank you, guys. So Colby, how you doing? You know, I was talking to Monty like quite some time ago about doing like some kind of special live stream when I get to 500 subscribers. I was thinking maybe trying to do like a 12-hour live stream. Okay, Archie, God bless you. Thank you for coming and hanging out tonight. I hope you're meeting with your company. I hope all that goes well for you. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll look for seeing you on Monday. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take that on or not. I might have to maybe go for 8. And even then, I'm going to have to use multiple controllers because my controller won't last that long to charge. I'll have to find me a cord or something. Anyway, it's something I was thinking about. Yeah, maybe something like that. We'll see. We're not there yet. I'll probably do more like an 8-hour live stream. I've never done an 8-hour live stream before. I have done 6.5. Yeah, I've been with I've watched him for a number of years now. He was one of the first guys I came across too playing this game. Mr. Sealy P. Who else? There's about 4 or 5. Daggerwind, Mr. Sealy P. He was probably the second one I came across. And then there's a couple other guys. I forget their names though. Farmer Cobb, Farm Sim Snowy. I've heard of that one too. There's so many of them I used to watch a lot when I was first learning and getting ideas of how to set the game up and stuff like that. I was going to say, I haven't seen anything new from him for quite a while, actually. I actually had a modder, one of the modders for one of the mods that I use, leave me a comment. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't not seen anything from him for a while, but yeah, I think he was probably the second guy I started watching play this game. Daggerwind was first, and then I came across Mr. Sealy P. I have watched some of Farmer Klein, yes, but there was somebody else too, and I cannot remember. But yeah, Farmer Cop, I do like watching Farmer Cop. I like watching his tutorials if I want to learn how to work, how to use a piece of equipment that I'm having trouble figuring out. I actually had to do that a while back. I was having trouble kind of figuring out how the piece of equipment worked. So I went and looked up one of Farmer Cop's, and then I watched somebody else's too. I can't remember who it was. Another very popular channel, DJ or something. DJ, I think it was DJ something. I can't remember. But yeah, there's several of those guys I used to watch. I don't watch a whole lot of them anymore. I have seen a couple yes, Archie. Yeah, DJ Goham. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, DJ Goham. Actually thought that was what his name was, but I wasn't sure. So I'm glad you did know what it was. But yeah, he's one of the other ones too. I really like his stuff. I always got to give Daggerwind credit though, because he's the YouTuber that got me interested in this game. So I do always give him credit. But I watched all those other guys too, learning different ways to set the game up, different challenges, stuff like that. Gave me ideas of how I wanted to play. Well, now see, that's true too. I've seen some of those guys, the channels are so big, there's no way they could keep up with chat. But I'm not trying to be monetized. I do like to see the channel grow. It just lets me know that people are interested. But as you can see, chat does not get overwhelming, which is nice because I can chat with everybody, because that's really why I do this. I do this because I wanted a chat room. And live streaming on YouTube gives me a chat room. I used to do live video and audio chats on this chat server called Pal Talk. Some of you guys may use that or have used it in the past. But about 30 years ago, I had my own Pal Talk chat room. And I had my own MSN chat rooms and message boards. I do wish YouTube had like message boards for the channel, but I guess that would really, in essence, be the same thing as like comments. But I like chatting with people. I like get to know a little bit about people. I noticed that, Archie. I did notice that. I'm going to have to take me a quick break, guys. So I will let you ride along with this harvester. There's no trees to get in the way, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Good night, Archie. Sleep well, man. God bless you. Thank you, Archie. And for those of you who are watching but are not in chat, thank you very much. I do hope you enjoy my gameplay. And I hope you guys have had and will have a great day. I locked myself out of my apartment earlier, so it cost me $180 to get back in. But other than that, I had a pretty good day. Wi-Fi went out during an earlier live stream, but still had a pretty good day. Now, I just ordered me a tablet, guys. An electronic tablet. I've never owned one before. I don't know that much about them. I mean, I know they're like a laptop in a sense, in one way. But I don't know that much about like the one that I bought, other than, you know, I think it has decent storage. I got one that has a 8 gigabyte of memory and 256 gigabyte of storage, with upgradable to 2 terabyte with the SD card, or the micro SD card. But I just don't know. Like, I have a laptop here that I'm actually watching my live stream on it, so I can watch chat. And it's not like a fully functional laptop. It's not powerful. It has a very small memory. I had to buy, I actually bought a 2 terabyte SSD card for it, because it only had 64 gigabyte of storage on board. So very small Google notebook is what it is. So it's not very powerful, doesn't do a lot. I just use it for YouTube, so it works for that. But I can't really use it for video editing. I might could now, because I have the SSD, the SSD card. So I have the extra storage, so I might could use it now, but I've never even attempted to get video installed onto it so I can edit it, because I edit with my cell phone. But I bought a tablet. I want to start doing my video editing, like I do a lot of video editing. Anyway, if you guys look at the channel, you'll see I don't make a lot of regular videos. But when I do, because I have a drone, I also have a new action cam that I recently bought. And I made a couple of little videos with that, playing around with it. But there's some other stuff I'd like to do with it too. It does have other features I'd like to check out. But anyway, I had to buy memory for that also. But I don't make a lot of regular videos. But my vision is starting to get bad, so I decided I would buy me a tablet, so I have something a little bit bigger to do video editing on. Maybe I'll get good at it one day. Now, I mentioned having a drone. I do have a couple of drone videos posted. But the thing about drone videos, if you have a YouTube channel that is monetized, you cannot have drone videos on that channel unless you have a commercial drone license. And those They cost about I think it was like $175, I think. And they're only given in certain places. And I don't believe there was any place like real close to where I lived to where I could even get a commercial drone license. So it does not make sense to put a lot of drone videos on a channel if you know that, especially if it grows fast. If it's a fast growing channel, you have that kind of channel, videos of stuff, maybe nature or whatever, so that it grows quickly and your goal is to be monetized. I would recommend not even bother doing the drone videos, because you're going to have to take them down. I don't know how they work. I don't know how a channel works. Like, you're monetized. Are there certain videos that get monetized? Some of them aren't necessarily monetized, so that you have that kind of control. That's why I haven't really done any more drone videos. I don't plan on becoming monetized, even if I get to that point. But who knows? I might change my mind at some point in time and say, hey, if YouTube will pay me a couple of bucks, why not let them? But that's not my intent. That's not my goal. So I do want to be careful about putting drone videos up, though, because I might just have to turn around and take them all back down at some point. And I think it's unfortunate that you have to have a commercial drone license to pilot a drone, any size drone, for YouTube videos. Unless maybe you could prove that the drone you took the video with, but even a small drone that you do not have to have a commercial license to pilot, you still have to have a commercial license if you use that drone to make money with. Any kind of money, for any purpose. So, but I mean, I can see, like, if you're using it for business or whatever, then you need a commercial license. But to go out in nature, out in the middle of nowhere, away from people, where there's no risk of any kind of harm or anything like that, and to go fly a drone and get some video footage of just the mountains or whatever, that you have to have a commercial license to post those videos on YouTube and get paid for them. Because you already have to have your trust certification, which I do have. But having said all that, I do plan on upgrading my drone. The one I have is, I actually do like it, but the batteries do not last long enough. By the time you really get it launched, you've got it up in the air, you're kind of starting to feel a little bit comfortable with the controls. It's wanting to land because it's already down to half battery power, and it's wanting to return home and land, and it takes all the fun out of it. You really can't have fun. So I am actually going to buy a different drone that has a bigger battery, and we'll probably get about twice the flight time, hopefully. And then I'll probably go out and do at least some drone stuff. I would like to be able to include drone stuff in edited videos. because I have this action camera, then I got a camera on my cell phone, and then a drone. I'll actually have 2 drones. I just don't live around anything that's worth taking pictures. Oh, you guys know what we saw today? We saw a black bear in a tree, and I did not have a camera with me, and we were in a moving vehicle going down the road, and the black bear was in a tree. There was a lady stopped in an SUV on the side of the road, and I noticed that she had a camera out, and she was like taking pictures or a video or something across the top of her vehicle, and there was a black bear in the tree. And then we saw a couple of deer, but that is the first time I've ever seen a black bear in a tree. Actually seen one with my own eyes in a tree. It was pretty cool. And it was climbing up and down in that tree. It was really cool. And I bought this action camera, and I'm supposed to be taking it with me everywhere I go so I can record this stuff, right? In case something happens. And there I was out. Something happened. I did not have my camera. And if I'd have just had my camera running, pointing out the window, I could have got some cool video footage. I'm really glad that we're just taking this right across the road. Yeah, I'm going to set that controller down for a minute. We can just ride along with this guy. Now, a lot of times, guys, I keep the camera kind of moving around a lot. I do that just so you guys don't get bored with it being in the same position all the time. But it also lets you guys know that I'm still here, because sometimes, now I will tell you guys that are watching and you're not in chat, it's not that I don't realize that there are people watching, but it's difficult for me to talk to people who aren't responding back to me because I get so tired. So I do not mean to ignore you guys. I just want you guys to know that. It's hard for me to know, like, if anybody watches on a regular basis that's not in chat, but I do want you guys to know that I don't ever mean to ignore you or anything like that. It's just, like I said, it's when I start getting, especially when I start getting really tired, then I don't talk a lot. Right now I'm talking because I feel pretty good. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit tired, but I still feel pretty good. So I'm just like rambling on to you guys that are watching but are not in chat, because right now there's nobody talking to me in chat. So it's all just me talking to you guys. And I don't ever know whether people like that or not, or whether they would rather just me be quiet so they can hear the game noise. I never know. And we just hit the 2-hour live stream mark there, guys. That's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, second chance. Awesome. Yeah, I don't mind lurking. And you're doing some modding. Awesome. Well, now that is just amazing. It's amazing that you actually even know how to do that kind of stuff. I should buy me a computer and start learning how to do some of that kind of stuff. Hey, Richard. I'm doing good. How are you tonight? All right, good, Richard. I'm glad. Second chance, what language are you programming? I mean, what language, you know, what language, programming language are monitors using? Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Now, is that a mod available for console? Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. I never did any programming in XLM. I did do some programming back in QBasic, back when you still had to assign line numbers. I believe I used a Commodore 64. And I've done programming in HTML. I don't know, I'd probably have a lot to learn before I could learn how to do modding. I'd have to learn how to use the language first. Yeah, I cannot imagine XML being quite as primitive as QBasic. Wow. Back before I ever had my first computer, I had a college friend who was a programmer, and he wrote programs in the machine language, of course, binary numbers, ones and zeros. And he did some cool stuff, and I was like, oh man, I want to start learning that. And he was like, well, thankfully today you don't have to learn binary numbers. You can actually, and he was telling me about some of these other programming languages. I think even back in that day, C++, I think maybe that's what he was using. Maybe C or C+. I don't know if it was C++ back then. It might have just been C. Now see, one thing about it too, being a modder, if I was a modder, then I wouldn't have to be like, well, I wish they'd come out with this, I wish they'd do that. I could just do it myself. I think that's a very good motivation. I may one day buy me a decent laptop. I think I would need a laptop to run the software. I don't think I could do, well, I know I could not do it on my Google notebook. This thing's not powerful enough. It is powerful enough for me to run my, watch YouTube on. That's what I use it for. One of my daughters bought it for me, so it serves a purpose. Yeah, I would need a laptop, most definitely. Well, that's what I was, like even what I was saying about buying this tablet that I bought. Should be here later today, actually, here in about 8 hours. Maybe 8 to 10 hours, I should have it. But it's not very powerful. It's a Samsung. But it's a Samsung A11 Plus, which I guess are supposed to be good, but they're not $1,000 tablets either, so. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm not sure just how much I'll actually be able to do on it, but I really only bought it for the purpose of doing video editing. I have another YouTube channel, does not have any videos on it, but that's what I have it for. If I ever learn how to make decent, like good quality videos, I'll put them on there. That's what I have it for. But I don't even know anything about cameras. So there may never be any videos on that channel, but if I can learn how to do some like cool drone videos and stuff like that, I'll put them on there. Right now, I don't even have a video editor that I can fade to black, you know, fade out, fade back in. Just do a fade between video clips. Right now, when I do a video, just a regular video, I'm just using the YouTube Create app. But I am surprised. It has some effects, but it does not have a fade that you can put between the clips. Just make it fade out and fade back in. So now I'm going to have to find out an editor that actually will do that. For free. Well, it won't be too much longer this guy will get done. This is the first time we've worked in this field. That's surprising also. I am surprised that we have not done any plowing in this field. Maybe we'll get to. Now that we're harvesting, maybe they'll want us to plow. But we're going to actually sleep. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm okay with a quitting time. Anytime after 3, I'm okay with. Sometimes we might stretch it out, go a little bit longer. Like one time we went into the dark. Second chance, I'm almost wishing I'd have paid a little bit more attention in my CIS 101 class back when I was in college. Well, now we're harvesting quite a bit of sorghum here. We're up to 85,000 liters already, but sorghum does not sell for very much. So I'm hoping we'll make $3,000 off this field, off the harvest on this field. The contract is a good contract, 16,000. But if we could throw another 4,000 would be really nice, so we could hit that $20,000 mark. That would be super nice. But I don't think this field's quite big enough to hit 4,000. Because like I said, sorghum does not sell for very much. So I'm thinking we're going to probably hit around 3,000. We might not even get that much, but I'm hoping we do. We'll take whatever we get though, because it is a nice size contract, 16,000. And I'm really thinking, let's pop the map up. I'm really thinking that the next thing I want to buy is I want to buy this right here. 165,000. I really want to buy this right here so I can get Dee Dee moved up there. We have enough money, but we can't buy it because I have a $100,000 minimum balance in the bank. So we can't go below 100,000 for right now. And in fact, I'm going to be increasing that to 200,000. So I need $365,000 before I can buy this. But that won't take us long. But 365,000, we can get Dee Dee moved up there, and then Joe is going to be taken over down here, and Joe will be moving in this house right here. So that's the next thing. I kind of jumped the gun. I jumped the gun real big by including a lot of people on the map. Second chance, do I have you a place on this map? Okay, do you care if I do? Okay, awesome, thank you. Now, like I told Archie, you're going to have to remember where it's at. Because I forgot where I put Archie. We found him, or we moved him, whatever we ended up doing. I know where he's at now. I actually have one house. I thought I put somebody in it, but I don't know who. I actually thought I had put Archie in it and then decided to put him somewhere else, but no. So I've got somebody that I thought I had placed, and I can't remember who they are. That's because they don't come back. That's why. I do have like Evelyn, for example. I have a house for Evelyn all set up, but I did tell her she'd have to keep coming back, and I haven't seen her again. So if I need to, I'll end up putting somebody else in that place. But for now, I don't need to, so I'm okay with her having that. But eventually, I may forget. I may forget who has that if I'm not using it much. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully the more I'm interacting with the different things. Yeah, you've been coming around. I was thinking that I had not asked you about... I don't have anybody who has a place on this map that I haven't got permission to use their name, because I may have to use their name, their screen name, when they're not here. So I want to have permission. But anyway, yeah, second chance. I'll get you a place on here. It might be a little while, but we'll figure it out. Figure out what I'm going to do. Because I am going to have people that just like have greenhouses and stuff like that also. That way I can include more people. But I have to be careful. I'll get overwhelmed. I'll have too many people to keep track of what I'm doing. I mean, the more the merrier. There's a bunch of houses. All right, see, we were able to harvest the entire thing, and we ended right here where we needed to be. That's awesome. That's awesome. We're going to drop this header right over here. Now I am hoping we make $3,000 cash. And we can make more than that if they want to give us more. I'll be okay with that too. Let's see what we get. I always have to try to find a kind of a dark spot on the screen up there so I can read that, because I can't read it. I don't have my glasses on. I don't want to wear my glasses. I bought a big TV, 75-inch screen TV, so I could see it without wearing my glasses. Oh, we got 6,700. That's awesome. That's really, really nice. 6,700. Much more than I was anticipating. I figured we'd be lucky if we got 4, and we got almost 7. Nice. That whole contract right there just worked out really nice. I hope we can do that again. I enjoyed that contract. Took a little while to get it finished, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. I don't care about that, because I'm going to be doing something one way or another. But just everything worked out real nice with that contract. With the sell point being right across the road. The fact that we ended up right at the end of the field where the sell point was perfect. And I know where to start on that field if we get to do it again. If I don't forget. Jacob, how are you? How are you doing tonight, Jacob? All right, good. I'm doing all right. We just finished a contract, a harvesting contract, and it paid us pretty good too. Now, I did make a costly mistake early during the day. Well, not early during the day, but I made a costly mistake yesterday evening at this point because I locked myself out of my apartment and I had to hire a locksmith to get me back in. Oh, wow. You did have a busy day. Well, Jake, I'm hoping it's something I do not repeat. Actually, my daughter came to pick me up, and I was not prepared for her to pick me up because I get a bad cell signal, and sometimes when she lets me know that she's coming to pick me up, I don't get that message until afterwards, and that was the case today. So she just ended up knocking on my door, and I realized that my son-in-law was parked or had stopped out in the road and was waiting for me. So I just like rushed, and I walked out the door without my keys, and the door will automatically lock. But I did not realize I did not have my keys. So it wasn't one of those situations like, you know, I pulled the door closed and then was like, oh no. I didn't even realize I didn't have my keys with me until I got back home. And my daughter had already, her and her husband had already drove off. I ended up having to walk to her house. She's like, what in the world are you doing? I was like, well, I locked myself out. And I don't have a spare key. So we are going to be getting a duplicate key made so she can keep one at her house. I was just thinking about that a couple of days ago too. I was telling my son-in-law, I was just thinking about that. But the key I have says do not duplicate. So you can't get it made. Even the locksmith tonight told me he cannot make me a key. But I hear that Walmart has a key machine, and that machine I can get it made in. So I'm going to go find out this weekend. Hopefully I can. All right, let's collect on this contract. We've got 2 of them we can collect on. Here's 9,000. Nice. That's so nice. 16,000. Very nice. All right, now we're going to go sleep. And now we have our minimum balance, our new minimum balance. So we actually have $5,000 that we can spend. But thankfully, we do not have to spend money. Well, we might have to spend a little bit to hire a helper for a contract, but we're going to sleep, so we'll make enough money to cover that too. Nice. We're in a really good spot, considering we started with 0, with nothing. Now we're going to be setting Jacob and Amber up with popcorn. But we have not got to that point yet, but that's what we're going to set them up with, is popcorn. And I think they're going to have a nice place for it, but I don't want them growing the corn. I want somebody else growing the corn. I have not decided how that's going to work out. I think we can do like a different flavored popcorn. You know, like if we add chilies, then we can get chili popcorn and stuff like that. Because we're going to be using greenhouses also. Now Archie is going to have chickens on his place. He's going to have chickens. If I can do this, guys, if I can set this up the way I want to, it's going to be really cool once we get farther into it. Right now I'm still stuck. I'm having to do all these contracts and stuff to get money. Eventually we're not going to have to do that, but I want the whole game to still look like it's like I'm doing contracts. So I'm going to be doing stuff for you guys. It's going to be really cool. Once I can get farther into the game, we're still getting it set up. Alright, we'll go ahead and feed Leakin again. And then we're going to go sleep. And this is not that easy to get up here. It's a very narrow ladder. Alright, we're going to save it because we're going to sleep. So I always like to save it when I sleep. That's the only time I ever save it, is when I sleep, actually. So if I go the whole live stream without sleeping, that means I go the whole live stream without saving. Alright, it's a little bit early. It's a 3:30 in the afternoon kind of day, but I'm okay with that. As long as I hit 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It may end up raining. We may not even have a contract we can do. That won't be fun. Okay, I don't hear any rain. Almost landed right on Lincoln's back. Oh, he ran away. There he is. Alright, go ahead. All right, let's see if we have a contract or if we need to advance. Oh, see, first thing in the morning, we never really get any good contracts. I really don't feel like doing that one. It's a real easy contract, but it's a very slow drive to get there because you can only travel at 7 miles an hour with that rock crusher thing. So let's we're just talking about doing this just a little bit ago, using the clock. I'm just going to speed it up an hour at a time here. Now let's see what we got. All right, that's better. If there's anything we can actually do, we could do this. I wouldn't mind doing that. We'll make 5,000. Plowing, we could do this, plowing. Let's do that. Let's do plowing for now. See, we could do a hoeing. We could do that one. But let's do this one first. Yeah, let's do this one first. Almost hit the wrong button, guys. Whew, that was close. Plowing, accept. Okay. Now, when I get down here and I get the plow started, I do need to check our productions. I think everything should be okay, but I do need to check just to see. We might need some liquid fertilizer. And before too long, I'm wanting to buy a truck for our diesel fuel that we need for the coffee. Let me look at something. Let me see here. Let's see, where's the main entrance? Maybe this is the entrance. Does it just circle around? Okay, I like that. Has access coming from either direction. But where do you actually get into the house at? Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, as far as I can recall, I do not have anybody over here. I don't think so. I had somebody down the road over there, and I must have moved them. I don't have anybody over here. So, second chance, this might be a good spot. We might be able to harvest this wheat field up here. I think that was wheat right there. Or was that maybe barley? Might have been barley. I don't know for sure what it was. See, there's another field that's ready to be harvested. I don't know what's in it, but... Let's see, did I already accept that contract? Yes. So I don't need to stop by there because I already accepted it. Of course, I don't really need to... Whoops. Wow. Well, at least on this map, I don't hit near as many signs as I was. Hey, Britain is great. I agree. How are you doing? Okay, so we're going to be plowing. I know I can plow with that small tractor, but I think maybe we'll use this one this time. Why not? It's a new tractor, why not use it? But because it's a bigger tractor, it may actually work a little bit faster, I don't know. Alright, now I've got to... Okay, that's over on Granny's farm. Now see the way I'm playing this game. Originally Granny was going to be the only one. But then I decided, well, hey, wait a minute, I can add anybody I want to. I just have to do it a little bit different. See, it's going to be really nice when I have all this belongs to Granny and we're farming that for her, but not just for Granny either. Okay, here we go. Let's see if maybe we start down here. It'll start over here. And we do have an upgraded plow to the 9-meter. And we've upgraded from a small tractor to a medium tractor, so we'll see what happens here. It may have the same working speed, I don't know. Nine, 10 miles an hour, okay. I'm okay with that. I actually like that better than the 15 miles an hour. 15 miles an hour seemed a little bit too fast with the stone picker. I don't really like working that fast. It's not realistic, but of course I don't play totally realistic either, but I don't want anything going faster than 15 when it's in the working mode. Now I am supposing that later on, because like I'm going to have all these fields connected. It's going to be one big field, one big cotton field. So I suppose that once it's like that, then like the higher speed, I'll be kind of glad because it'll get done faster. But I won't like the optics of the faster speed. So we may only get like one field done per live stream once I get all these connected and turned into one big field. We'll just have to see how it goes. Now, one of the things I think I'm going to do a little bit different for this gameplay, I have done it before, but like when I do greenhouses, I will actually have them spawn pallets, and then I will deliver those pallets to where they need to go to. I normally just have everything distribute, But there will be certain places. Now, some places I may still be able to do the distributing, which is what I prefer because it makes it easier. But like I said, I've got to be able to set everything up to where it looks like I'm doing contracts. Even though, as far as like what's going on, I own all the fields and everything, but because I'm setting them up like other people own them, then I'm just taking care of the contracts. All the services I do are under contract with you guys as the other players on the, or the other, farm owners. So I'm doing the best I can to actually simulate multiplayer as if it was real multiplayer, and people are doing different things. The only thing I'm doing, though, I do not want, for example, like I said, Jacob and Amber are going to be doing popcorn, but I don't want them growing the corn. I want somebody else growing corn that will be used to provide for their popcorn operation. I think it's too typical to have. Originally, I was going to set it up where everybody was like, for example, in fact, I started it that way on this map, and I changed it. When I first bought Dee Dee's farm, if we look up here, I bought Dee Dee's farm right here, and I was gonna have her right here do sunflowers, but I bought an oil mill and put it right here behind her house. Actually, I think it's still sitting there. No, I put something else there. I switched it out. I put something there for Joe for later. I'll have to go look and see what that is. But anyway, I had her oil mill right here, and I was going to have her grow sunflowers and produce her own sunflower oil. And then I put Angela down here. Where did we put Angela? Angela is right here. And I was going to have her doing canola oil. And I was going to have her doing her own oil mill here also. But then I changed it. I decided, no, I don't want these people growing what they need. I want everybody to grow something for somebody else. Because you're going to be helping whatever they're doing, they're going to be helping somebody else. So now we have Monty with the oil mill. So both Dee Dee and Angela will be bringing their products over here. Monty is growing sorghum, which is going to facilitate Richard's grade mill. And at the same time, it's also going to feed Archie's chickens. We don't have Archie's chickens up here yet, but when we get them, they'll be up here. And Monty's sorghum is going to feed the chickens. So we're going to do everything like that as best I can. But right now, see, I'm still doing contracts for anonymous people. I'm not actually harvesting this field because, for example, Monty needs his field harvested, which I have done already. But I don't think I've harvested Monty's field when it's been under Monty's ownership. Now, one thing I do, like I said, I wanted to check these right quick, because one thing I want to check is right here. See, we are out of cotton. We are out of Granny's cotton, but I have a cotton field that's going to be ready after we sleep one more time. But I've got to be able to buy at another field because this will not keep Granny's cotton or knitwear. It won't keep it operating in between harvests. There's not enough. So I've got to get at least one more cotton field going to have enough because we just ran out. So this field's just not quite big enough. If we get this field, combine it with this one, we'll have enough to at least keep Granny's knitwear operating year-round. That's what we want from one harvest to the next. And then I can really move on to getting Dee Dee set up because Dee Dee's next. So I can focus on getting her set up. I wonder how much this field is, though. How much is this field? That's not too much. What is that, 138? I might need to buy this. Well, no, I want to get Dee Dee moved, and then we're going to buy this. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll get Dee Dee moved, and then I'm going to buy this because I want to get Granny's knitwear set up to where it's operating, and I don't have to worry about it from one harvest to the next. It's going to keep making us money. Right now, it's not making us no money. So we're done with this contract, and the game will not let us finish the field. And if it did, I would finish the field. Okay, Eugene, God bless you. Thank you for coming and hanging out, spending some time with me tonight. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate that from all you guys, just so you know that. Whether you're in chat, whether you're not in chat, whatever, I do appreciate it. It surprises me, actually. It surprises me that anybody would actually want to watch me play. Ooh. Now we may end up advancing the clock again. I probably will. There was another contract. If it's still available, maybe we'll go do it. It was what? Hoeing? And we have done hoeing contracts before. I like those. I need to buy a hoe. Eventually I will buy a hoe. But not just yet. Alright, so let's look at the contracts again. We are going to at least, I'm not going to drive over to the dealership to accept the contract. I will to collect, because we're doing contracts, all the money goes through the dealership office. But we will assume that we can call and accept contracts. So let's look at these contracts. We can collect up to 2 more. We can only have 3 at one time that's actually active. Now we're going to do this one right here. A hoeing. Okay, that's nice. We were just over here. So we can go hoe this. I'm perfectly. So we're going to borrow the equipment with this one because I don't have a hoe. I have a weeder but that is not the same and it won't count. I tried that already. And I used the word try because I failed. Okay, so we're going to borrow the equipment. So since we borrowed the equipment, we got to drive over there to get it. And this is probably going to be the last contract for tonight. But we'll see. I am getting kind of tired. Now I kind of just got through determining that it was kind of quicker to go the bottom route to get to the field we're going to. But I don't know that that's necessarily the case when we're already up here on this side. If we were at like our farm, then yeah, I would just shoot down to the bottom and go down around that way. But since we're already up here in the center of the map, we're on the top side of town. I always want to think of this area where we're at right here as town, but it's not really town. I don't know what that would be called, a suburb, I guess, because town is actually over here. So I guess this would be like a suburb. Or is it a separate town? I don't know. I like how the traffic stops if you get close to them. Let me see here. Now, I'm still not very familiar with where things are in this on this part of the map over here. Nice. Alright, at least I was able to pretty much just drive straight to that one. Used the mini map, but I didn't have to switch back up to the big map. Oh, this guy will work pretty quick, won't he? I hope. I just about had it lined up in the right spot. Hard to see what he's doing, but he's doing it quickly. Now see, to me, it just looks like he's working too fast. It doesn't seem reasonable that it would actually be going that fast. So it's like it's almost like, I guess like a catch-22 kind of thing, because you want it to get done, but at the same time, I like for it to look realistic. If that makes sense. Realistically unrealistic. How's that? In other words, I don't want it to be too off, not too crazy. Now, it does not bother me at all to drive around with no traffic, because traffic does nothing for the game as far as I'm concerned, except make it more difficult to get around sometimes. But I haven't had too much problem with traffic, so I keep saying I'm going to turn it off, and then I don't do it. Now, one of my big things is I would like to see the street signs triggered on and off with the traffic. Because if you don't have traffic, you don't need the street signs. And on this map, the traffic doesn't pay attention to street signs anyway. They run all the stop signs. Every time I'm in a no passing zone, they're zooming past me. So the rules of the road do not apply. Yeah, I am getting kind of tired, guys. This might be the last contract. Let me see. What else is there? Well, yeah. Uh, well, I don't really want to do that one. That takes so long to drive up there. We just did this one, as a matter of fact, in the last live stream. We just did it. So I'm surprised it's there again. But anyway, uh, what we will do is we will advance the clock and see what contracts would be available. And we can do that a couple of times. I don't want... Well, it doesn't really matter one way or another. So, because this guy, it won't take him too much longer. He'll get this done. So I think maybe I could do one more. And of course I say that, and then that one more will end up having to be the largest field on the map, and it'll be something that works at 6 miles an hour. And a 6-meter working width, or less. Oh, could you imagine? If it's a spinach field, I'm not doing that spinach field. Not tonight, because that would take way too long. That's like a 500 subscriber night. Because we did that. We did harvest that, the biggest field on the map. We harvested spinach out at where is it? On this one right here. Now it's got soybeans in it. Ooh, I would like that. Too bad. It's too bad that's not ready to harvest. What's over here? Oh, green beans. We've got a field ready to harvest. We've got 2 fields ready to harvest. I did not know that. Oh my goodness. We've got 2 fields ready to harvest. But I don't know if I want to do that though. Well, it's okay though. That's fine. We can still do another contract. That's going to be fine because those are our fields. So we can still sleep into the next day. And that won't hurt nothing. I'm okay with that. But we're not actually going to sleep into the next day because, well, if we have to, we will. It depends. I would like to do one more contract. I do not want to do one of our fields because I want to be able to get it replanted, and I'm too tired to take on the entire rotation of a field. I don't want to do that. I just want to do the one stage of a contract. But we will not sleep. Well, like I said, it depends on how much I have to advance the clock just to get one more decent contract. Because I really would like to do at least one more decent contract. Let's see, I need to see, let's go back right here. Let's look at the oil mill. Oh, okay, we're good. We got plenty of sunflowers still going. All right. Nice. It's nice to know that I'll be able from one harvest to the next keep sunflowers in the oil mill. Yeah, he's almost done. Now, one thing I did like about FS22 that is different about FS25 is like in FS22, if you did a contract like this, when you got to the end of the contract, you could go ahead and finish the field. So like in this case, we could go ahead and run this weeder or this, all the way down to the end, and it would actually do it. Like if we were like using a plow, it would actually let us plow all the way to the rest of the field. It won't let us do that now. I used to always like doing that, just being neighborly. But they do not give us the option to be neighborly in FS25. Well, I had thought that we might go back to the dealership around the bottom way, but since we finished at the top of the field, we might as well come back this way. I need to get more familiar with, look out bus, with where I'm at over here in this part of the map. Still lots of areas on the map I'm not familiar with. It's mostly like this main drag right here. Now I really would like to advance the clock just a little bit. We only need a couple of seconds because we only need a few minutes in game. Just to see if we get another contract that's ready. All right, Alright, we can collect both of these. Nice. And there just is not anything else that I want to do. I don't feel like driving this thing all the way up there again at 7 miles an hour. I'd rather sleep for, or we don't even have to sleep. I just need to advance the clock for a second. Takes longer to actually go in there and change the thing. Anything here that I want to do? There is a corn harvest. Cultivating, that's too small. Let's do this one more time, guys. I would like to find a decent contract. It doesn't have to be really huge because I'm tired. But I would like to do at least one more, you know, decent contract. Let's see. Is it going to give me anything? It may not. Well, there's bell wrapping. If nothing else, we could go do that, I guess. Here's corn harvest. That's kind of a small... Here we go. Let's do a hoeing contract. It's not going to pay us that much. It's only going to pay us a couple of grand. I got to buy a hoe. But it's right across the... Let's do this one. We will borrow the equipment. Okay. And then this will be the last one for tonight. This one won't take long. This field's right across from ours. And then in the next live stream, we have some fields to do that is our own fields. But like I said, I don't want to start them yet. Because when I harvest a field, I like to just work it until it's replanted. So I like to rotate them. But we'll have this field right here, sunflowers. Now this is what I was talking about there a little bit ago. I switched this out, but I don't even remember what I put over here. What was this? Preserved food. Yeah, preserved food. And this is bagged spinach and flour. So I'll have to figure that out a little bit later. But that's for Joe. But I'll have to remember why I put that there, what I was going to do with it. And it shouldn't take too long to do this one. And I did not even attempt to get that guy out there where he needed to be to start. I just wanted it in the field so I could hire him and let him go do his thing. Because I am pretty tired. But we got everything set up. So now what I'm going to do is when I get back up to the treehouse, I'm going to say I will save it like I always do, but instead of exiting out of the game, I think I'm just going to pause the game and then just leave it sit right there. That's what I did tonight, because I always go on the game because I have to refresh my memory where I'm at, what I'm going to be doing and stuff like that to get started. So I did that, but I did it actually just a couple of minutes before I was going to do my live stream, because I had to install update for the PS5, so it did a system update. So anyway, I did that and didn't get that done too much longer before I was going to start my live stream. So I had got on here, so instead of going all the way back out to the main menu, I just paused it and left it sit, and I like that better. Because that way you guys don't have to sit and watch the loading screen and all that stuff. There's no point in that. So I realized, after all this time, I realized, well, I can just pause it. But I think, I don't know, maybe I wasn't put it in the pause mode because the game kept running or something. I don't know. But I think I'll try that. I'll do it that way for a while. It could be just because I was actually changing the disc out, playing a different game. I was swapping out between games. But now that I'm really not doing that, at least for the time being, then I'll just put it into pause mode. I did like that. It was kind of nice that when I was ready to play, the game was also ready to play. I didn't have to load it. Because the only time I really need to exit is if I want to go look for a mod for something. And I really am, I'm not installing mods if I don't want to use them. I do have some mods that I'm not using because I have them for the other map that we're not playing on. And it's just easier, quite frankly, to leave all those mods on and installed and activated, as opposed to deleting them, because I'd have to delete the map, the other map, because I'm using those mods. It won't let me delete the mods because the other map uses them. Okay, I believe he's about ready to do a headland row. He did that so quick, I almost think I should do another one. But there wasn't really anything else I really wanted to do. There just isn't anything else I really care to do, so I think that's going to be it. And that's okay. We made good progress, and we've got 2 fields. ready to harvest this one, and then the next time this one down here will be, and so will this one. So we got plenty to do. We may get these two fields, this one and this one will get rotated, and then we may do a couple of contracts. Well, I'm sure we'll have to do a couple of contracts because these fields are not that big, so they won't take as long, but we'll get those rotated. We'll do a couple of contracts, and then we'll do this one, and we'll be able to do this one as well. Awesome. That's actually very nice. It's going to work out great. And it's going to be nice to be doing some of our own fields, or fields for, I'll be doing contracts for some of you guys, Dee Dee and Angela. Yeah, this field went really quick, especially working at 15 miles an hour. Now, I don't mind that with the spraying. But I think it's too fast for like the plowing and the stone picking and stuff like that. Even though we can do it, it still looks too fast. It does not look too fast with the sprayer. All right, there we go. There it is. I was having trouble getting it to fold. All right, so we can return this. Now I actually have some all these houses are available here too. I don't have anybody in these houses. And I was going to have Mary Jo in that house, but I moved her. She's down on Granny's farm now. Well, actually it's hers now. I haven't seen Mary Jo in a while. I hope she's doing okay. Alright, there's another 2,000. Glad she didn't go over there and start messing with the truck and snatch my bicycle out of the back. I like that pond. Hey, Monty. How's your night been? Pizza. Oh, pizza sounds good, actually. I might have pizza now that you mentioned it. I just might have pizza myself. Oh, here's our dog, Lincoln. Lincoln, 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 what are you doing? Hey, get home. Get home. Now I'll tell you what, this is a well-fed dog. A very well-fed dog. Alright, so we're going to save it right here. We'll save it. And then what I can do is just pause it. So I'm going to leave it sit right here for tonight, guys. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Monty, it was good to see you, even if it's right at the end here, and we'll do it again on Monday, everybody. I hope you all have a great weekend. So we'll do it again on Monday, guys. Until then, everybody, God bless.